All right, looks like we are finally live. Why am I blurry? Camera looks like it wants to make me blurry tonight for whatever reason. Odd. I guess because I'm leaning back. So hi all, I am Glam Cam Rebecca. Some people know me as Rebecca. And my hair is up in a bun right now. Minus this annoying little piece right here. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to play. Not really like too keen on playing anything right now. Just I have a lot going through my mind, and I just found out Friday my 19-year-old daughter is living at my dad's house. And for some of you that know my background and the abuse that I went through. Hi, Blue Light. And so finding out that my youngest child is living with my father and my brother makes me rather uncomfortable. And it's a good thing I still have doctors that I have to see regularly in Florida, at least once a year. Because now I have an even stronger reason to go down there. And I will be in Florida the first week of July to make sure my daughter is okay. Because I am not comfortable with her living there with those two people, because I don't feel that she's ever had to live through what I've lived through. She's never had to defend herself against sexual advances that are inappropriate. She may have. I don't know. I lost custody of her when she was younger, and I haven't had custody of her in at least 10 years. So I don't know what she's like now. But I wasn't comfortable living there. And I'm a grown adult, and two individuals that live in that house sexually abused me as a child. And one of them still thinks it's no big deal because they got a slap on the wrist and some community service time and got off scot-free. And then there's my dad, which he is my father. I love him, but I do not agree with what he did. And he knows. I have explicitly told him what would happen if I ever found out he did that to anybody else. And I will be more than happy to call law enforcement on myself and turn myself in if I do find out he's ever done that to anybody else, and what happens, what I would do to him if I ever find out that he's ever inappropriately touched anybody again. So I'm concerned for the safety and well-being of my child, who does not know me now, has no idea what I'm like, has been told all kinds of stories and lies and things about me from my mother, and doesn't know what to believe. And rightfully so. About a year ago, I saw her, and she was terrified. She was absolutely terrified to meet me a year ago. And she was 18, and my mom told me that if I came around my child, in 2012. She told me this, that if I came around my child again, she would call law enforcement and have me trespassed. And if I tried to come in the neighborhood or go anywhere near her, she would have me arrested. So I was not allowed contact with my child when I got out of jail in 2012. And I found out my mom had lied to the court system and got custody of my child on false claims. And since her father, Brian, had no idea what was going on with me, he just signed the papers and was like, okay, because my mom came after him for child support, and he never really knew Brie. I mean, he met her a few times and he saw her when she was an infant, but he was very clear when we both found out I was pregnant that he did not want any more children. And I said, that's fine. You don't have to be involved. It's up to you. So I told her a year ago because I found out from my dad that my mom wanted to kick her out, and that my mom she was having some health problems, and she was gonna go live with my uncle, which I found out that didn't last very long because I had a huge falling out because he's bipolar and a dickhead and a racist, which most of my mom's family is, to be honest. So I gave her the option to contact me if she wanted to, and gave her my email and my phone number. Told her she was welcome to come up here and live, and got a 3-bedroom house, beautiful piece of property, quiet. That she was more than welcome to come up here and stay or visit or whatever to get to know me, or ask me anything that she wants to know, and I would be 100% honest with her, which its option is still open. And then I just found out Friday that my mom kicked her out about a month ago, sold the house that she was living in, and moved and bought another house and did not allow her to move with. Now, I don't know what happened between her and my mom. And I know how living with my mother is difficult. She is bipolar like her brother and a narcissist. And everything you do is wrong. Nothing you do is right. You can bring home straight A's and you're still a stupid bitch. And you could take all these classes and lessons and you're never good enough. And you could work 3 jobs and you're never going to amount to anything in life. And nothing I ever did was good enough for my mother. So I can only imagine what my mother put my daughter through living there, because I lived with it. I don't know if she was worse or if she had gotten any better. I don't know if she told her she was ugly or fat or stupid or couldn't sing on key or certain colors made her look ugly, or you shouldn't wear makeup because it makes you look ugly, or you're a whore if you wear makeup, or if you wear hoop earrings it makes you a whore, or you're going to burn in hell if you don't believe in the Bible, and all the hateful things my mom did when I was growing up. I don't know if she did any of that to my daughter. What I do remember is my mom had visitation one weekend, and I ended up in the emergency room with my 3-year-old who came home from grandma's house, and grandma said, oh, she's been playing hard and whatnot. She's got some dirt in her hair and she needs a shower. I was like, well, she'll get a bath before bed. No big deal. She's like, no, she needs one right now. And she's trying to strip my daughter down to nothing. And at the time I was dating this guy I worked with at the college, and he was like, something's not right here. And so he ushered my mom out, and my daughter's standing in the bathtub as straight as a rod. And she didn't act right. Something was off. And she said things burned and hurt. I packed her clothes into a bag and sealed it. I turned the water off. Of course, she never sat down. I dressed her and I took her right to the hospital for an assault kit to be done on her at 3 years old. That is what I remember about my mother having contact with my youngest daughter. And when I found out, after my ex-husband hit her in the head with a hammer, that she was going to get custody of my daughter, I lost my mind. I went to jail for 15 months and 3 days because my ex-husband got mad because she took his legal documents that he needed to get into the Army Reserves. He cut the head off of her Eden doll, which I had just sewn back on the day before because he was mad at her. She said something to him he didn't like, and he took a hammer to her, and I went to jail. So, I'm terrified for my daughter. I'm terrified for what she's lived through, but I honestly don't know if she's ever had to deal with inappropriate sexual advances from a family member like I have, and how that makes you feel, and what it does to you mentally, physically, and emotionally. All I know is that I spoke to my dad, let him know, that I was coming down for doctor stuff. I have to go back in December for doctor stuff. And that we'd be down for the first week of July, which is when he's going on vacation. I said, that's great. I could schedule my appointment then. And when I talked to him on Father's Day, which, don't get me wrong, my dad did some really heinous things to me as a child. But he's still my father. He's the only parent that I will talk to. And he taught me a lot. And we had a very serious conversation one day when I was about 16 about how what he did to me affected me and how it was wrong. And he said he was sorry. And he asked for my forgiveness. And it took a long time to give that. I will never forget what he did to me. I will never forget the years of abuse that I had to live through. I still have flashbacks to this day. But he is my father. And he has been there for me when nobody else has. But I don't trust him with my daughter. And I don't feel good about her being there. And it bothers me that she's there. And I don't even know if she'll talk to me. He told me Sunday that the month that she's been there, she's barely left my old bedroom. And that she barely talks to anybody in the house. And that she comes out occasionally and washes dishes or gets food. But the house is filthy. There's bugs. It smells really bad. And I couldn't live there anymore. My dad is getting older and he has some anger management issues. He's normal 1 minute and completely flies off the handle the next. And I really need to blow my nose. 1 second. God, I hope the mute was on because that would have been gross to listen to me blow my nose. So I'm going down there for a medical treatment, and hopefully, just hopefully, I can speak with my daughter while she's there. While I should say while I'm there. Even if it's just to extend an olive branch to tell her that if she wants to come visit here, she's welcome. We have an empty bedroom that literally just has clothes in it I can't wear anymore because I went from 132 pounds to 200 pounds on a medication, and I'm slowly dropping the weight off. But it's not as fast as I would like, but I'm about 170 pounds right now, and that's a lot of weight to carry on my very small frame because I have a very thin bone structure and my health isn't the best. But my home doesn't have bugs and it doesn't stink, and she'll never have to worry for her safety here. Because I tell you what, if I ever find out anybody's ever laid their fingers on my children inappropriately, I may just go back to jail. For very damn good reasons. I still, to this day, don't understand how it is now a law in some states that if you are raped and you have an abortion, you go to prison. But yet the monster that raped you gets like a couple hours of jail time, gets off scot-free. I'd love to understand the rational thought process that went into that legislation. I was raised in a very strict family, very religious, by the book, do as you say, do as you're told, yes ma'am, no ma'am, please and thank you. I was working at 14 and I worked 2 jobs and volunteered at the library just because I didn't want to be home. I was driving myself to 8th grade on my little moped. I have a Yamaha jog, a 49cc Yamaha jog that my parents bought that I had to pay for. I had to pay for it. It was mine. I paid for it. $1,500 what I paid for that little Yamaha jog. And I drove it to school in 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade. And in 10th grade, I got a car. The 87 Toyota Corolla that my brother thankfully didn't kill. He blew up the engine of the Volvo that we had. And my dad sold my moped to my cousin who blew up the engine in it like a month later. And he never paid for a dime of it. That's the bipolar uncle's son. He has a bad habit of running through vehicles. So I drove the car and I started cosmetology school halfway through my 11th grade year because I wanted something that I could do to support myself and get the fuck out of the house. And the day I turned 18, I moved out. I couldn't stand it there. I couldn't stand, and it wasn't, I mean, even my dad didn't even come home. Like, it was so vile in that house. My dad didn't even want to be there. My dad was working 2 jobs, and he taught lessons at Stetson, and there was always bagpipe camp and bagpipe lessons and various training stuff for his job that he would run off in the summer to go do. And he was never home. I think my dad would come home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. He'd pass out. He'd be gone by 6 o'clock in the morning. So even he didn't even want to be there. It was so bad. And my mom is the kind of person that could be sitting right next to the kitchen and scream across the house, all for a glass of water that she could have got up, walked around the kitchen counter, and got it her damn self. But no, she had to scream across the house for me to come out of my room to go get it for her. Yeah. So there was always that. And when it came time to do homework, heaven forbid I asked my mom for help with homework. That never happened. Never. Because you don't ask my mom for anything. The kids were supposed to be seen and not heard. And most of the time we weren't even supposed to be seen. And you know how they say, Gen X kids, when the sun came up, you were lucky if you got food before they locked you out of the house for the entire day. That is so very accurate, because we were locked out of the house. My mom would literally lock the doors to the house. She would leave the garage door open so we had access to the set tub, which has water and cat food. And she would lock the door going into the house from the garage. She would, and this was when I was under the age of 11, she would lock the front door, the back door, everything was locked. I got smart and started leaving my bedroom window unlocked so I could sneak back into the house, at least to go pee in the toilet in the back end of the house, hopefully creeping enough through the house that mom didn't hear, because if mom heard we were in the house, we were all getting our ass beat. Didn't matter. So when they say Gen X kids were feral, we certainly were. I was climbing trees and jumping on the roof of the house. Hell, we were climbing ladders to get on the roof of the house. My brother and I used to jump off the roof of the house on the builder's sand. Had a heyday doing that. We'd run up and down the road. We'd play golf in the field next to the house. Run up and down the orange groves. Play with the neighbor's horses. And this was, again, all before the age of 11. The neighbor next door, his mom had a mother-in-law suite built onto their house. And so I used to go over there and watch soap operas with her during the day. She was awesome. When I was sick, my mom didn't want anything to do with me. She was working at a church office once, and these 2 little old ladies used to always come in. And if they saw that I was there, my mom would bring a pillow and a sleeping bag, crayons and a coloring book or whatever. And she'd stick me in the corner or somewhere, or stick me in the church on a pew or something, and leave me there for the entire workday. So I had to make do with whatever. And I got into a lot of shit. I tell you, I got into a lot of shit when I was a kid because I was curious. I got into everything. I was playing the piano. I was jumping on all the pews in the church. I was in and out of the baptistry. We were climbing all over the pulpit. Taught myself how to play handbells. I mean, we were feral. But yeah, if I was sick, mom didn't really want anything to do with us. She would kind of stick us in a corner and throw stuff at us occasionally, and that's about it. And we weren't, again, supposed to be seen and not heard, because I honestly think my mom never wanted kids. I kind of think that that's what happened. She had my brother at the pursuance of my father. She specifically wanted a son to carry on the family name. And then after that, my dad told her that he wanted one of each. That was the agreement. After my brother was born, my mom's like, "Nope, I'm done." But my dad was in the Navy, and they wanted to have the medical insurance for me. So mom had to get pregnant when he was home on shore leave, so that I was covered under the Navy. Because when dad went to re-up, he was supposed to go SEALs. And my mom said, "If you go SEALs, I'm going to divorce you and take both your kids." And my dad about lost his shit. Probably would have been best if that had happened. Maybe it would have cut down on some of the abuse that we had in the family, but I don't think it would have made my childhood any better, because my mom is a piece of work. Like, I have permanent scarring on my back from my mom that you can see on x-rays and MRIs that has been there since I was a child. So you can't tell me that my mom did not leave permanent scars on me, because she certainly did. But I don't know what to expect when I get to Florida my doctor's treatment is like, I'm only there for a few days because I have to come down after class on Friday, and then I'm going to be there for like the weekend and then like the first few days of the week, and then I'm going to drive back. But like, I don't know. I don't even know if my kid's going to talk to me. I don't know if she's going to want to see me at all. I have no idea. And I know occasionally she watches my YouTube stuff, so I figured I'd put this out there and flat out just say, I don't feel comfortable with you living at my dad's house. I don't. My brother's a creep. Doesn't know what the hell a bar soap is. And they're not your problem. Hell, they weren't even my problem. I just did the best that I could while I was there, cleaned what I could. I mean, there's only so much bleach can do. And just the thought of going back there with the amount of bugs in the house, number one, I have to call the vet and find out, because I have to bring my dog with me because she goes in and out several times a day, and the person that comes over to feed the cats doesn't have the time to let the dog out 6 times a day. And I don't want her locked in a crate the entire day. So what I want to do is, take the dog with us. But now I'm worried, okay, the house is infested with fleas and roaches. So I don't know if the medicine that she's on is going to be enough to prevent all that. And of course, we're going to have to immediately give her a bath when she comes home. Just like when we come home, our suitcases and stuff either stays in the garage because I'm not bringing roaches in my damn house, but also everything that we take has to immediately be washed with bleach and on hot because of the aroma in the house. I don't know how much better it's gotten since I left, because I know when I was there a year ago, the vacuum was in the same position it was in when I left in December the year before that. So I know the vacuum hadn't moved in at least 8 months. I don't know. I don't know what kind of life she's lived. I don't know what her interests are. I don't know what she does for fun. I don't know if she likes chocolate. I don't know if she prefers salty things to sweet things. I don't know if she swims. She had swim lessons when she was little, but I don't know anything about my daughter. And I still don't feel comfortable with her living at my dad's house. And, you know, maybe she'll see this. Maybe she won't. But I just know that she has nowhere else to go. And that's not true because she can always come here. And I guess I'll just leave it at that, because even if she wants to come here and just spend a few days and see what it's like and see if she likes it, it's okay. I just want the option for her to have somewhere that is clean and safe for her to go, because where she is neither. So, and I know my mom stalks my YouTube channel because my dad's always telling me, oh yeah, your mother called, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh Lord, what is she bitching about now? Because when she saw my video that I put up years ago on my abuse history, I told my dad, I said, I want to record a video about what happened. And he said, okay. I said, do you have any feelings on that? He goes, it's your story. You're allowed to tell it. I said, are you okay with me talking about what you did to me as a child? He goes, why wouldn't I be? It's true. And it happened to you. So it's your right to tell the story. So when I found out, Mom called my dad right before Bree graduated from high school. And she hit the roof because she found the video. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you let her. First of all, I am 40 fucking plus years old, bitch. You all abused me. It's in the court documents. It is legally fucking there. You cannot fucking dispute all the fucking transcripts, you stupid cow. You tortured me as a fucking child and told me to lie under oath. And I told a caseworker about it and showed them the burns that you inflicted upon me. How I ever got put back in your custody, I have no idea. Because you are a vile human being. But also, the fact that you would ask my father why he allowed me to talk about what y'all did to me growing up, he has no control over that. He has no control over that. He's a convicted sex offender. He's going to be on the sex offenders registry for the rest of his life because of what he did to me. Your son, on the other hand, got his record sealed when he turned 21. Sealed. Because you paid a lot of money to get that swept under the rug. Oh, 250 hours of community service and $100 fine. What kind of bullshit is that? And the fact that the church in Eustis allowed him to do his 250 hours of community service doing yard work for the church, and I had to be there too, like I'm being fucking punished twice, bitch. You fucking punished me twice for what he did to me. But then to have the fucking balls to tell my daughter I made it all up when there are legal documents at the Orange County Courthouse that anybody can get access to prove what the fuck you did. I honestly cannot imagine what kind of mentality it takes for somebody to blatantly lie like that to a child who has no idea what is right and wrong in the situation. only your side of the story, and then they see my side of the story, and you're telling them that it's all a lie when everything I said in that was true. I even withheld information in that video because I was worried about backlash. I was worried about the hate you would spew. And I even mentioned it in the video because I was terrified of what you would still do to me 30 fucking years later. That is the torment that you did to me as a child. You tortured me as a child, Janet. You tortured me. I hope to God you didn't do that to my child too, because she should have never had you taking all that shit out on her. She didn't have anything to do with your shitty upbringing and your 5 siblings and the fact that y'all were poor and that you had hand-me-downs. She didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't have anything to do with that, but yet you took it out on me anyways. I wasn't the reason your neighbor sexually assaulted you when you were a child. I wasn't even alive yet. That should have never been put on me either. I didn't force you to marry my father. I didn't force you to have me. And when you tried to drown me, and Aunt Pat found you trying to drown me as an infant, I don't even know why they didn't take me from you then. My grandmother knew there was something wrong with you. And yet you've always claimed you're not bipolar. There's nothing wrong with you. You are the most two-faced, backhanded, racist, bigoted people I have ever fucking known in my life. I don't ever want to live like you. I can't imagine hating somebody because of what they can't control, who they are, what color their skin is. I can't imagine that. I honestly cannot imagine what goes through somebody's mind to allow them to hate somebody based on the color of their fucking skin. They didn't have any say in who their parents were. Just like people that are gay. We have no control over who we love, who we are attracted to. Now, granted, what the fuck is the new term that pedophiles are using? Maps? Look, there's a whole place in wherever you believe in, whether it's hell or whatever, for people that think children are sexy. There's something fucking wrong with y'all. But like, honestly, I can't imagine hating somebody that I don't even know. Hating somebody because they're different. Hating somebody because they believe something different than me. I can't wrap my head around it. I honestly, in all the years of education that I've had, all those psychology classes that I honestly thought I was nuts taking, like the last psychology class, oh my God, that was a humdinger there. I will never take another psychology class as long as I live. Abnormal psychology did me in. That was it. That was where I drew the line. When I got my master's degree, I about lost my mind taking that class because they made you think like the perpetrator to write your papers, and I just can't. I honestly cannot put myself in a criminal mind like that. Even when I worked law enforcement, I couldn't do it. I can't think, okay, well, if I was a criminal, why would I do this? Or how would I go about doing this? I can't think like that. I don't know how people do it. I don't get it. I honestly just don't. And I know this stream is like all over the place, but honestly, I have been kind of all over the place since Friday. It's been very emotional for me. I am usually a chill, calm, relaxed person that's laid back. I just want to chill at home, have some good food, watch some TV, play video games, play in the yard, watch stuff grow, pick green beans out of my garden. I always get so excited when I go out in the garden and I'm like, oh my God, look at this flower. I'm such a dork. I literally, my tomatoes had flowers for the first time a couple weeks ago. I was literally praising my tomatoes in the greenhouse for getting flowers. And I got excited when I got a chainsaw. Like, Jason bought me a chainsaw for Mother's Day. I'm like, woo! Chainsaw! I could finally get a tree cut up that fell down in the tornado that we had run through the fucking woods. I was like super excited for a fucking chainsaw. I swear, being an adult is a whole other level. You know, my mom used to bitch about getting appliances. I got a stand mixer for my birthday last year that I've wanted for 20 years, and I was ecstatic. I honestly couldn't have been happier to get that fucking mixer. It is the prettiest shade of green, and I was like, I am stoked to have it, and I like have to think up recipes to go put in it. Of course, and the energy and the time to go out there and do it. But like, I get excited to use my kitchen appliances. He bought me a blender. I about lost my shit about the blender because you can like chop ice in it. You can mix different things. I made egg salad sandwich in that shit the other day. Man, I was having a heyday in the kitchen. So I gotta blow my nose again. 1 second. My friend keeps messaging me and stuff on Facebook, so just touching base. Because this is definitely a heavy live stream. It's a heavy topic. Done way too much crying today. Now my face is all itchy and dry. But I've been sitting on this thought process for a year. Like, my mom flat out told my dad she can't keep a job. She's lazy. She doesn't ever do anything. All she does is sit on her butt on her phone all day. I'm like, maybe she's bored. I get bored. I get bored really easy. I have ADHD like really bad. And somebody told me I should probably get tested for autism, which I'd probably test positive for that shit too. I mean, fuck, I just found out I have lupus. So, yay, another clinical disease that's gonna fucking kill me one day. Not today, bitches. But, you know, I was trying to think, why would my mom kick her out? What does my child do that is so bad that my mom wants to kick her out? Like, she begged for my child. She literally begged the fucking court system for my child. And I'm like, you flat out told me to my face you would be a better mom than me because you have money. Well, from what I know now, you don't have any money. And if you kicked my child out of the home, how does that make you a good mom? Certainly doesn't make you a really good grandma. Makes you a pretty shit grandma. But like, what did my child do that was so bad you had to kick her out of the house? I mean, I understand you bought her a car and then she wrecked it. Well, I mean, we've all done that at least once. I don't know what she could have done that was just so bad that you literally kicked her out of the house and then sold your house and moved to a whole new house without her, telling her that she had nowhere else to go. I just don't understand. So, I don't know. Things that make you go, Oh, and that's probably another thing that my mom lied about. I don't drink alcohol at all. I don't do drugs. Unless, well, unless they come from here. These drugs I take. But, those are written by a medical professional. And, if you're crazy and shake your pills. Which is funny because I actually have that as a Minions meme, which I thought was like the greatest shit. Hi, Daniel. Kind of a heavy live stream, man. I've been crying. But I don't know. I want both my children to know that if something happens and that they need somewhere to stay, they're welcome here anytime. And that, I always wondered about my oldest because I was told that my mom and her sister had a falling out and that my daughters were basically stuck in the middle of it. And my aunt told my oldest, well, you can't see your sister anymore. And my mom told my youngest, well, you can't see your sister anymore. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. And it's like, are we in high school? Are you literally telling two biological sisters that they cannot see each other and that they're not allowed to talk to each other anymore and that they have to avoid each other? Like, and then to tell the other child all this horrible shit about the other one so that they don't want to talk to them. Like, why would you do that? They are sisters. They're fucking sisters. That is like hateful. I swear, the dynamics of family, man, I thought my family was dysfunctional, but like my extended family is even more dysfunctional. And like makes my head hurt. But whatever my children want to be, perfectly okay with me. I don't understand why parents tell their children, well, you can't be like that, or I don't want you to be XYZ religion because I don't believe in that religion and I don't think you should be that religion. Well, you know what? Why not let your child make up their own mind? Simple concept. They're their own individual. They have the right to be who they want to be and to grow into the human that they need to grow into to be happy with themselves. And as long as they're not hurting somebody else or themselves, what's the harm in them exploring what makes them happy? As long as it's legal. I don't understand why, like, when my other half, their child said, I'm trans to their mom. And the mom said, no, you're not. It's just a phase. You'll grow out of it. I don't understand why a parent would say that to a child. Just like my one friend, when I was growing up in high school, she came out as gay to her parents. And her mom was like livid because she wanted grandchildren. And she was like, well, you're never going to give me grandchildren. I'm like, well, how selfish is that? Your child just told you that she is homosexual and that she likes women. And your first response is now I can't have grandkids? Well, I mean, there is always adoption. But like that, and her dad was okay with it. Her dad was like, okay. He was completely fine with her being gay. But her mom was like, I don't want you in the house and you're going to burn in hell, because they were very big Christians. And it's like, your child just came to you with a very important thing. And the first thing you do is throw them under the bus. You don't sit down and have a conversation and be like, why do you feel this way? Why do you think you are this? What makes you think this? What makes you feel like this? Okay, well, how do you feel when you're around different things? Just general questions to feel out. Okay, well, maybe you are, maybe you're not, maybe you're curious about other things, maybe, you're bisexual, maybe you're heterosexual, maybe you really are homosexual. Why not allow your child to explore and make those choices for themselves instead of telling your child, oh, well, you can't be gay. You're not allowed to be gay. It's a sin. It's in the Bible, and you're going to burn in hell for being gay. Why not let your child decide if that is what the path for them is, instead of telling them what they are allowed to be? It's a novel concept. We're all supposed to have freedom of thought, right? We can all think for ourselves, or at least the majority of the population on this planet can. Why not allow your growing child to think for themselves? Is that so dangerous that we cannot allow for free thought? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry. Actually, I shouldn't say sorry because I've got other stuff that happens. I gotta keep up with it. So, been streaming almost an hour. I didn't even pick a video game. I don't know. Let me do this. What should we play? Now that I have a headache from crying, my face is all red and hot. Honestly, don't know what I want to play. I could play some WoW. I played some Sims yesterday. Hell, I played some Sims this morning for work. Play some V Rising, Diablo 4, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, New World. I don't want to play Dune though. Oh, and if you're just popping in the stream, I do have a video coming out soon about this XCOM 2. My friend Michael bought that for me on Steam. And so I was editing the second video today. The first one is ready. It'll probably go up this weekend. I got to get some videos edited so that I have video content for y'all to watch on the new channel. And YouTube just changed the requirements for, let me look it up. I don't know how those people drive down the road with their music that loud and actually can hear. Like, I literally don't. Okay, so it said the requirements were supposed to be being dropped for monetization, to get monetized, channel monetized. And I just checked on my new channel and it still says 1,000 on my side. It was supposed to have been dropped to 500, but I don't know if that's like going to come up like July 1st or August 1st. I don't know when they're going to implement the new change, but mine still says 1,000 subscribers. So what are you doing? I hear feet. You're going that way. Why are you going that way? Oh. Hey, did you probably didn't see the stream. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Did you want to play something? I've been crying.
You can.
I have a headache.
Let me play some quiet.
I don't think any of our games are quiet. Everything's like smash, murder, kill, stab.
Murder and stab quiet.
explosions.
True.
I'm like, I don't on the quiet games. I don't think Diablo is definitely not quiet.
No.
Skyrim isn't quiet.
Mm-mm.
New World is quiet, not quiet. XCOM is certainly not quiet because there's all those bombs and grenades and stuff you throw. I mean, Sims can kind of be quiet, but then you have them talking in whatever gibberish it is that, unless you were like zoomed all the way out, you still hear that. So that's not quiet. Then there are our vampire game that we play that's certainly not quiet
Mhm.
because you're constantly like sucking the blood out of somebody. I want to drink your blood.
Yeah, we have to start over because we haven't been in that game.
I know our people are probably dead by
Yeah.
some portal
And all their
somewhere.
stuff is reset back to start over. Well, though, we do have the higher level gear at least.
Yeah,
So
but
we
everything
can
that we
relate.
put in those chests is gone. So unless we go and destroy somebody's burning castle or something, we would have to start over from scratch. I don't like being that far down on the map anyways. I'd rather be in the middle where we had that other one.
Yeah.
Or somewhere near
Well,
there.
you were working your way toward having something up there.
I know, but that son bitch got my ass, man. She was almost dead too. I almost had her number. Well, the house flipper game is kind of quiet, but I don't think people want to watch me renovate a house. It's kind of a boring game.
So I have no idea.
I don't know. We could play like Rocket League or something, but I don't think you have half my games. You don't even have installed.
No, I would have to install one of those. I don't know which one you want to play.
Maybe that new hard drive that we have coming, we got to put it in your machine so that we can actually like play games. Like you can put games on a thingamabob, do a makey. I have 20 plus terabytes of storage space on my computer, and you don't.
No, I mean, I can install a lot of the games, but if I'm not going to play them, I usually just don't bother to install them.
I gave myself a headache crying.
Oh,
But I really don't feel comfortable having her live there. And I don't think that she's safe there. So if she sees this, then at least I got it out there.
okay.
Don't know if she'll watch it, but
No, but
I also don't want to just spring showing up down there on her. And I don't know if Dad's talked to her yet. And I know, she did say that she sees my videos sometimes, and maybe she'll stumble upon the live stream. I don't know. And this Daniel guy says he loves me.
yeah,
I don't know who he is, but
some guy.
loves me.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
At least somebody loved me. You better. Bought a house with me.
Got to count for something.
And you got a dog with me too.
Yes.
Fur monsters are a pretty high priority right there. So. Is Frostpunk 2 going to be multiplayer? Are we actually going to be able to play that with each other?
I have no idea. I never heard anything about how it's set up. It'd be nice if they had multiplayer.
That would be fun to have like a map that you can like co-op on or something. See, we can't even StarCraft 2 co-op because there's too many loud bangs and blowy up noises. Spaceships explode.
Could do co-op or something like that in Frostpunk if people made their own cities and then you could trade or send traders back.
Yes, kind of like you do with the Children's City and the one that has all the food and stuff, and the mining one, and
So you could trade
that would be.
So they could do it, but they were trying to do it end of the world kind of that thing. So it was only supposed to be one city, and everybody else kind of struggling to get to them.
I tell you what, though, that last city that I played on the Endless map, it kicked my butt. I was playing it on medium. A lot of the games that we have are not really. I mean, we have several that we play that are multiplayer, but like you can't even play like Skyrim with me unless we play Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. Yeah, Valheim we could still play.
I know. I was just looking at the icon for that.
Especially since they just added a whole bunch of new encounters and monsters and other stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. We really need to get with Phil and his wife so that we can build our own little city.
Yeah.
Our own little city. That'd be kind of cool. See if we get Chris involved.
Mm-hmm.
Get the whole gang to play it. I don't know. So, honey, I got too many games and I don't want to play. I just say, fuck it, take my meds and go lay in bed and watch the rest of that movie from last night.
Could do that too.
I mean, I have class in the morning and I don't want to go. But yes, it's only 11:30. Did you put the dog to bed already?
Yeah.
Wait, did she go back out?
No, but she's not crying or whining about it, so
Okay.
I guess she's fine.
Did you close the front door?
Not yet. Bob was sitting there still staring.
Little lazy ass.
He's content to watch the
Bugs. I think he watches the bugs on the front door.
But he went over next to one of the lamps next to the walkway. And he just sat there watching the flies and the rolling moths and stuff bouncing against the
Cat TV.
So, cat TV and just insects.
We ought to put something on the front porch, like black light or something, and turn the lights off so that the bug glow extra cool in the dark and let it. He's saying my black light. I think he's over there on the case. I don't know. I probably ought to end this live stream because my head's hurting pretty bad.
Okay.
Crying sucks. But it's emotional for me knowing that she's there and not knowing how she feels about stuff and knowing that she's not safe there. If he does anything to my child, you will need bail money. Yes. And he knows that. Because I don't want anybody else to go through what I had to. It's bad enough to live with it every day. Casey was on the stream for a little bit. She sent me a message. She caught part of the live stream. I don't know if she's still here or not, but she popped in for a little while. All right, let me go ahead and end this. Nobody watching anyways.